Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Delaware. Hi, everyone. I see mostly names, not too many faces today. Hopefully you'll join us with your face. Good morning. I'm Deb Chamberlain, if you're watching somewhere and you don't know me. You might be expecting to see Sharon Bousquet today, but Sharon has a boo-boo on her finger. So I'm a last-minute replacement for her, and not that she can be replaced, but she'll be swapping with me on the third Sunday of the month, or fourth Sunday. So welcome, welcome. It's been a week, and I'm so glad that we can be here and bring ourselves back to center together. I'm going to open today's service with a song I wrote a few months ago called Redemption. We can't control what's happening out there, but we can tune into the one mind. Your pain, your suffering, your anger reminds me of my pain, my suffering, my anger that blinds me. Wherever I go, whoever I'm with, I see in you what is here within. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I speak for myself as I speak for you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Your peace, your healing, your redemption reminds me. My peace, my healing, my redemption that finds me. Wherever I go, wherever I'm with, I see in you what is here within. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I pray for myself as I pray for you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Unconditional love, it's everything or nothing at all. Unconditional, the truth. When we see it, all the rest shall fall. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I'm here for myself as I'm here for you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Yes, I give to myself what I give to you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, me, thank you. Please forgive me, thank you. Please forgive me, thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know who I'm introducing. I am introducing Marianne. Yay! We're bringing back our beloved Marianne. Enjoy this morning's service.
Thank you, Deb. That was beautiful. So I'm Marianne. I am the platform practitioner today. So I'm going to do an opening prayer. So invite everyone to get settled in. If you'd like to close your eyes for the prayer, you can. It's up to you. But go within, and we'll take a deep breath to start. Connecting with spirit at the point of the breath. How good it is to connect with spirit, knowing that that breath, that life, is spirit, that life animating force that gives these bodies we have life. It's the same life animating force in everyone. The same force making everyone's body full of life, full of joy, full of peace, full of beauty and wisdom and possibility and creativity. There's only one presence, one power, one life. I call it God, you could call it universe, spirit, life, light, truth, love, beauty, possibility. It's all the same. It's only one life animating force, the same for everyone. Oh, and breathing that in, that nourishing, nurturing breath, that breath. And knowing that my body is functioning, that the blood is pumping and my heart is pumping and the lungs are expanding and contracting and nutrients are going to every cell and I don't have to think about any of it. This life that breathes me, spirit that breathes me, does all of that for me. Just so grateful for this life, for this breath, for this possibility, the possibility of a new day, of a new year. Possibilities, full of possibilities. And turning my attention to all of these possibilities, the possibilities that are the same for me as everyone else. There's only one joy, one peace, one love, one possibility, one creativity, one wisdom, only one. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for everyone here in service today, for Dan and Michelle getting all the technology going with Zoom, for Deb's beautiful, uplifting, inspiring music, for Marcy doing the reading today, and Dwayne doing the announcements, and Reverend Kathleen's message that is always on point, that always offers something for every single person listening. Every single person listening gets exactly what he or she needs in that moment. She's a willing vessel for spirit to move through her and speak as her. And we're so blessed. We're so blessed to have this beautiful Center for Spiritual Living that is a lighthouse illumining the way, illumining the path for all of us. I'm just so grateful, just breathing in that gratitude, letting it fill my body, fill all of my cells with gratitude, with possibility, with excitement for this brand new baby day. And I invite you all to join me in a vibrant yes. And so it is. And next we have Reverend Kathleen.
Thank you, Marianne. Beautiful prayer. And oh my goodness, Deb, I love that song. Such a powerful song for all time. So good morning. I am Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson. I'm the spiritual director for Center for Spiritual Living Delaware, and I am here in high and holy service to all that come today and also in the future as people check us out on YouTube and Facebook as well. So I just want to welcome any of you who are here for the first time, welcoming our beloved community and welcoming all those who are here for the first time. And I invite you to truly get the full experience of our community, to get involved. You'll hear in a few moments announcements of ways that you can get involved. Because community, connecting with others who are on the spiritual path is such a gift that you can give to yourself. And I'm telling you, this spiritual community is a field of unconditional love and light. I just love every single person in this community, and I know that you will too if you're new to this community. So I'm going to also invite us to do what I am describing as the beneficial presence declaration. So this is where we really truly step into service to humanity and to the planet by recognizing who we are. So I'm going to invite you to repeat after me. I am that I am.
I am that I am.
I am acknowledging the beloved God presence that I am.
I am acknowledging the beloved God presence that I am.
That is moving through me and as me.
That is moving through me and as me.
I invoke the divine presence.
I invoke the divine presence
To fill every cell of my body with light.
fill every cell of my body with light.
To surround me with a pillar of
To
light.
surround me with a pillar of light.
To fill all of my affairs with
To
light.
fill all of my affairs with light.
I allow the pure light and love of the divine
I allow the pure light and love of the divine
to flow from me and move
to
me.
flow from me and move
To be of highest service to all life.
to be of highest service to all of life.
I joyfully bring love and light
I joyfully bring love and light
to all who enter my field of awareness,
to all who enter my field of awareness,
knowing that my light contributes
knowing that my light contributes
to the enlightenment of all.
to the enlightenment of all.
And then let's say together, we always say yes, everybody who's new. Yes, and so it is. Thank you. And so now I would like to introduce you to our dear friend Dwayne, who will give us the announcements for today, ways to get involved in our community. Dwayne?
Yes, good morning, everyone, for this beautiful Sunday, sunny morning. Yes, yes, yes. So wonderful to be here. Now I'd like for us to, in unison, recite the intention. Okay. We, the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware, are a welcoming, vibrant, inclusive spiritual community rooted in New Thought, ancient wisdom principles. We are here to be the presence of love and to co-create heaven on earth, a world that works for all. The young spiritual masters met today, and Shia is here to provide an update on what they did.
Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. My first time seeing you, so Happy New Year. In our Young Spiritual Masters program this morning, we focused on knowing that I am somebody, I am important, and I have my own unique gifts to share. The lesson is in the knowing that what is true for me, so we extended that lesson into what is true for me is true for you also. And so therefore, I am somebody and so are you. And together we make a community, and that has the power to change the world. So our affirmation for today is I am somebody and so are you, and we belong together. So the belong is really important today too, because it's recognizing that as individuals, we are so important and we have all these wonderful things, and all these wonderful things we can look and see that those are also in all of the people around us, and that we belong together no matter how different we may seem to each other. And we use sign language today. We always use sign language. And I love sign language because it's a physical experience that sometimes really so perfectly encapsulates with the word. And the word is belong. And in sign language, to create that word, we take our two fingers and we link them together. So we belong. And that is a perfect demonstration of what it really means to belong, that even though we don't see the links with our eyes, our hearts know that we all belong together. And I just thought that was beautiful. And that link kind of led into our co-creation today, which was a puzzle piece. So even though all of our puzzle pieces may be different, They all fit together and they belong perfectly. Let me just share this really quick. And this is what we created together. I had, Jaylin was with me today, and this is, I sent this to her already. It says, I am somebody and so are you, and we belong together. And I also hope to maybe send out the PDF for this for other people, for maybe families to do together, where each family member can make their own piece, and you can cut these out and they can actually fit together, which is really fun. I also just wanted to say that the next time that we are going to meet is Sunday, January 24th at 9 a.m. And if you would like, if you're not already getting emails for these Zoom links, I'm going to put my email address in the chat. Please send me an email and say that you would like to be included on the Zoom emails that go out. And also, if you are interested in getting more involved in the youth and family ministry, I'm going to use the group that we have, because we do have people already interested. But if you're not already on that list and would like to be on that list, please send me an email, because I'd like to start to get together with people and start creating the vision for, completely creating the vision for 2021 and going forward. And I'm looking forward to everybody's input and inspirations for that. So thank you all so very much, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much, Shia. And yes, I am somebody, and so are you. The next meeting of the Regional Men's Group is Monday, January the 18th from 7 to 9 p.m. The men's group is a spiritually centered men committed to helping each other along the path of enlightenment while exploring different ways of living an authentic, spiritually centered life. To participate, send an email to, and I'm going to repeat this email address twice. Send an email to Mike at msavarese@verizon.net. Again, msavarese@verizon.net. And be sure to put men's group in the subject line. The Gandhi King Session of Nonviolence 2021 is January the 30th through April the 4th. It is a season designed to bring our understanding of peace to a new level of spiritual maturity. There are 64 days between the memorial anniversaries of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. 64 ways in 64 days is sponsored by the Association for Global New Thought, AGNT. Together, we will offer various practices to awaken greater peace within ourselves and our community in honor of these two iconic peacemakers. These activities will be featured on all of our media platforms and serve as a focus of the Social Justice Initiative ministry throughout the season. You are enthusiastically invited to participate. Join Marianne Ruan, practitioner, on the Radiant I Am Self-Healing Guide by Emma Curtis Hopkins by way of Zoom and CSLDE Facebook live for 15 weekdays, Monday, January the 11th through Friday, January the 29th, from 7:15 a.m. until 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Participation is free and all are welcome. We have distributed or mailed the CSLDE 10th anniversary ceramic ornaments that display an original painting of the Science of Mind symbol by Lisa Bartolozzi. Let Reverend K know if you are a member and did not receive yours. We also have 30 on sale for $10 if you would like to buy these beautiful ornaments as gifts. Contact Reverend Kathleen We give thanks for our members who funded these gifts. For details and Zoom links on all of these other activities, check out the CSL Delaware website under the Get Involved tab or the CSL Delaware newsletter in your email. And now, back to Deb Chamberlain.
Thank you, Dwayne. There's so much that's not real in the world, right? But there is one thing that is. So we're going to sing about that. God is real. This beautiful song by Reverend Michael Beckwith and Ricky Byers. We sing this song of jubilation because our hearts have been set free. The gift of God is alive within us. This joy, this peace, this majesty, we're learning to love, to learn how to live, 'cause within the Spirit, love is all there is. So pure of heart, in God we dwell, with gift of vision we now can tell that God is real, God is magnificent, God is love, God is love, God is real, God is magnificent, God is light, God is love. I am real, I am magnificent, I am light, I am love. I am real, I am magnificent, I am light, I am love. And you are real, you are magnificent, you are light, you are love. You are real, you are magnificent, you are light, you are love. We are real, we are magnificent, we are light, we are love. We are real, we are magnificent, we are light, we are love. And God is real, God is magnificent, God is light, God is love. God is real, God is magnificent, God is light, God is love. Yay. I hope you were singing with me. Thank you. I'd love to bring on our bright and shiny Marcy.
Thank you, Deb. The theme for January 2021 is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. The topic for today is Grounded in the One. Ernest Holmes wrote in What Religious Science Teaches, the sacred books of all peoples declare that God is one, a unity from which nothing can be excluded and to which nothing can be added. And Ernest Holmes wrote in Think Your Troubles Away, the prophets of every age have declared the unity of God and man, but they have been among those who have entered in. Dare we deny the reality of their experience, the truth of their message? Our perfect union with the one life is affirmed in the Bible in the book of John, chapter 10, verse 30. I and the Father are one. Please join me and say with conviction, today I am forever one with all life. I now turn this back over to Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson.
Thank you, Marcy. So, as we do every time this year in January, we go back to the basic teachings. And I always hope to add something to that for those of us who have gone through this so many times. Because the truth is we can ever expand in our understanding of these principles called oneness because of our evolutionary nature, our ability to expand our awareness of what oneness is and then how to put it into practice in our lives. I'd like to begin with a story about a great poet from the 15th century in India. His name was Kabir. His teachings were so universal that the Muslims and the Hindus claim him as their own. To me, he so much exemplifies the same kind of energy and perspective of the poet Rumi, and many of us are aware of the poet Rumi and his beautiful love poems to the divine. Kabir did the same thing. He gave himself fully to God. And then he wrote this. He said, "The beloved Lord possesses my heart and has enchanted me." Oh, gosh, yes, so beautiful. He embodied, he became, he unified, he realized or awakened to his oneness with all that is, the presence of God. And he therefore not only became that, but it so overtook who he was that he could not help himself but contribute to the culture around him. At that time, the Muslims and the Hindus were in constant battle, despised each other, killed each other in the name of God. And his response to that was to go and to teach them, and to get them to work together in harmony. A very powerful presence. And his teachings were very clear. He said, to know ecstasy, to know God's beauty, to know God's love, to get along with others, your heart must be immaculate, free of all hatred and judgment. In other words, he said, my Lord loves a pure heart. My Lord loves a pure heart. And for him, the Lord meant the presence of love. He said, love is so pure that only a pure heart can sustain the experience of it. And how beautiful, Deb, that you chose the song that you did today. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. I thank you, I love you. The Ho'oponopono, which is a song of forgiveness. A forgiveness that peels away the judgment and peels away the hatred and the resentment that keeps our heart from fully containing this amazing thing called divine love. So I started with that story because I think it helps all of us get more in touch with what it means to live from a place of oneness consciousness. And, Ernest Holmes was a great student of all the spiritual traditions, all of them. A great student of that, self-study. And he was one who looked for the common themes, the common spiritual principles, the common truth that runs through all of them. And of course, this is the mystical, we call it the mystical perspective from all of the different world religions, because when you get the mystics together, they find commonality. We know this. We've seen it in books written by Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama and others who, when they join together and they have conversations, yeah, sure, there are differences here and there, but love is something they can all agree on. Oneness is something they can all agree on. So Holmes invites us then to do what he did. Read sacred texts from all the spiritual traditions. Read sacred inspired readings and poetry from all times. Read quantum theory. You know, he was really big into the sciences. That's why he came up with the idea of the science of mind, meaning the mind of God. The science or the principles of the mind, universal mind, which we are unified with. He also encouraged us to read psychology, modern psychology, and all of the new findings that are coming through. So we're considered a teaching that is open at the top, that we're always continually enriching ourselves with information that, of course, we know always helps us on our spiritual path of oneness. And then he says this, and this is a very important piece, is prove the principle. Don't just read about it and become an intellectual who knows all this stuff. Apply it. Put it into practice. He says, prove the principle. Prove it. And so he asks all of us to do the same. This is not a founder who said, I'm better than you. He very much, like Jesus said, these things I can do and greater things you can do as well. He has that perspective that things will move on beyond what he learned in his day and what he gleaned from his meditation practice. And Holmes, again, found a universal truth that I just mentioned previously. One power, one life, one source, one presence, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. That means present everywhere in its totality, in its fullness, right here where I am, right where you are, right where we all are. And that therefore we are co-creators. We have that natural creative ability that we're gifted with from the very beginning. And so our teaching is really about awakening to all of this truth and embodying it, just as Kabir did and Jesus did and all of the great saints and sages of all time. See, the CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living, that we're part of, that have a beautiful global vision. And in this global vision, it said, we see a world where all life is seen as sacred expressions of the one divine. Our evolutionary vision for humanity is a world where people live in alignment with the truth of oneness. Love and compassion, which go hand in hand with oneness, is what Kabir so beautifully demonstrated when he was speaking about how he gave himself to God and that God possesses my heart and has enchanted me. That's such a beautiful, poetic way of stating what oneness is and where love and compassion comes from, that state of unity. So this is why we keep returning to oneness over and over again. It's not only the truth, but there's another reason. Because the consequences of ignorance of this truth are what shows up in all that ails us individually and our nation and our world and our beloved Mother Earth. It is that which is the opposite of oneness, a belief in separation. And I'm going to go into that a little more later in this message. Jesus gives us a clear path, just as Kabir does, to how to enter into this thing called oneness consciousness. It goes like this, and many of you have heard this. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all else shall be added. You know, the more that I grow in my own consciousness, the more I see how important that statement is to my own journey. Seek first the kingdom, and all else shall be added. The kingdom is where? It's within us. The kingdom of God, Jesus said the kingdom of God is within. The kingdom of heaven is within. Heaven is a state of consciousness. It's a state of oneness consciousness where there's no separation. And so love and compassion are natural in that state. And it reminded me of a song that I heard by Ricky Byers-Beckwith that goes like this. It says, I used to think that I needed somebody, or I needed some money, or I needed whatever, something outside myself. But all I needed was my connection with God. And it goes on to say, one day I realized to seek first the kingdom, all things and everything be added unto me. And now, then she talks about, and now I have fellowship and I have all the good that I've been seeking because I sought first the kingdom, the presence of God within, a connection, that state of oneness consciousness. In the scriptures, the prophet Isaiah once said, God is doing a new thing. He said, now it springs forth, this new thing springs forth. Do you not perceive it? And then he goes on to say, I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. That's Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19. The great mystics of all time, like Isaiah, spoke in using symbology, the idea of making a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert that really spoke to the people. And we know that imagery speaks to our deep subconscious mind. Think of that as you meditate, as you do your prayer work, as you do your visioning practice, that you are opening a way for the rivers in the desert, in desert consciousness, separation consciousness, a way in the wilderness of separation consciousness, a way back to oneness and back to living that state of heaven here on this planet, which is a state of mind. Kabir, again, was such a great example of that, in that he became that way in the wilderness, that river in the desert for the Muslims and the Hindus of his time. And so all of us have that potentiality and possibility, because Spirit is always calling us. I don't know if you can hear the call, but I feel it and I hear it, to be the place through which the new thing unfolds, the new version of ourselves, the new thing, this thing that we call heaven on earth, a world that works for all. And the practice of forgiveness. I really want to be sure that we remember this, because it's so easy to get caught up in wanting to get even when we see things on the news that we don't like, and we know that that's not the direction that we want to go, and yet we know we want to make a difference. So here's what I'm going to offer you. We know that forgiveness is letting go of the poison of the victim story. You know, that I'm a victim and they done me wrong, and so I'm going to get even. We know that the harm that can be done by emotions of revenge, we saw it on Wednesday on TV, when anger is used in a destructive way. So forgiveness is a way that we purify our hearts so that God can do the new thing, the thing that is going to be beneficial to all through us. It returns us to the truth of oneness, love, and compassion. It frees us from judgment and condemnation and allows us to sustain that thing called divine love. But it does not mean that we condone behavior that is destructive. It means that we come up with a solution, that which is good and right, some consequences for the destructive behavior, so that there is an opportunity for the purpose of learning. And other parts of the world have seen this as a new possibility for their prisons. I know I saw something on a documentary at one point in time that was it was a prison somewhere in Europe where they were rehabilitating, and it was more like a group home for prisoners to learn new skills, to learn new ways of thinking. So this is not about punishment, it's about consequences that help give the person an opportunity to learn from the destructiveness of their actions. Forgiveness is actually letting go of the story of separation from God. And it's the use of our anger for right action. I don't know how many of you have seen Valerie Carr. It's Kaur. She's a beautiful, young, and very mystical and powerful speaker from the Sikh tradition. Some of you have heard it called Sikh, the Sikh tradition. And she says this about anger. She said you can use it destructively or constructively. Destructive anger is when we seek revenge and seek to harm. And divine anger is when we seek a positive solution. Gandhi and King, I think, so beautifully in this season for nonviolence that begins this month and ends in April, these two are such great examples of the use of divine anger in the form of nonviolent protest. And yes, it can seem like it's slow in getting things moving and changed, but we know that ultimately it is a much more powerful vehicle, as so beautifully exemplified by Gandhi, where he was able to shift a whole nation, the whole nation of India, from the British power to self-governance by the Indian people. So it's a powerful vehicle that comes from love. Yes, divine anger. The anger is there, but it's being used constructively. And now I want to talk about rooting or grounding in this presence of the One through changing the story. Llewellyn Von Lee, I actually did a series of talks on him some time ago when we were talking about the earth, our relationship with the earth. And he says the only way to change the world is to change the story. We know this, right? Change the story. But not only our own individual stories, but the collective story that humanity tells itself, because we know that the story that we tell ourselves define our world today. It defines it. So right now, the predominant story, or the story that has been holding on for quite a long time, is a tale of consumerism, sustained by the empty promise of an endless stream of stuff. And that stuff includes not only things, more and more things and possessions, but it includes fame, power, all of those things, thinking that there's something outside of ourselves that is going to make us feel happy. So thinking that stuff is the source of happiness is the story that has been told for so long and continues to be promoted. And many of us are finally recognizing the self-destructive madness of this myth. We know that it's addictive, more and more stuff, because it seems like we get this temporary boost of happiness, and then we want more, and then we want more. And it not only is addictive, but it exploits us. We are exploited by, the whole big story of more. We need more in order to have value or worth or whatever. And it exploits our planet. We've seen the destructiveness that takes place on our planet. We're seeing how there are new innovators who are doing all that they can to clean up the plastic from the ocean and to clean up our lands and our waters and our air. So we know that the effects of this that ravages our ecosystem, this story. And even a green economy won't work as long as we're covering over the truth of unsustainable materialism and the waste that comes from that. We have truly, over time, and I don't want to claim this, but I'm saying our culture has become addicted to materialism as a way of life. This story is built on an earlier story. It's built on the story of a God who is withdrawn up to heaven somewhere to reign apart and above us. This myth of separation, that we are separate from God and therefore separate from our earth, rather than part of our wholeness, has led to seeing the natural world in a very unfeeling way, therefore leading to exploitation and misuse of the planet. And many of us long for and have been already telling ourselves this new story. This new story that is not so much of a new story, but for many who have been involved in the old story of materialism and separation, this feels like a new story because we know that this is what's necessary to save our planet. It's not just actions, it's a change of consciousness, a change of the story. Our Science of Mind teachings, the Centers for Spiritual Living that we are part of, promotes new story and has been promoting this new story for quite some time. And so it's articulated in this way. It's a beautiful, compelling vision of the entire universe as a single, inextricably interconnected living whole, returning to us a sense of wonder that nourishes our body and our soul. This new story is also based on an earlier story, but it's based on the story of the indigenous peoples of the world, one in which all of creation is sacred and where humanity is a part of the woven tapestry of life. This newly emerging version, or the newly emerging version of this story, also has the evolutionary component to it that's drawn from the insights of particle physics. The underlying nature of creation, which is an interconnected whole. And like Indra's net, each part influences the rest. This is such good news because it's a reminder that when we do our spiritual practice, when we follow our path from separation to oneness, consciousness, that we are doing a vital part for the whole. And this new story of creation connects the smallest particle with an ever-expanding cosmos of billions of galaxies. It bridges science and the sacred, understanding all of it as expressions of the same ultimate reality. This new story is a story of oneness then. And it includes the diversity of creation in a self-sustaining whole. We can sense a reemergence of this idea of oneness when we talk about our earth as Mother Earth or as Gaia, understanding that, yes, the earth is a living thing as well, that balances itself, and that we can support that as part of the earth. And this story, because we have this impulse to evolve, it's there. It's a God-given impulse in all of us, despite how it appears sometimes in the world scene. This impulse to evolve is operating deep in the psyche of humanity, even as I speak, to give birth, to give full birth to this story of oneness. We hear it in the words of the new president, President Biden, when he says that we need to work together, when he's calling us into a state of unity. It's the story of cooperation rather than competition or conflict. It's the story of life evolving and recreating itself anew. And yet, as full participants in creation, we are needed, you and I are needed to midwife this new story by living it, by showing up as Kabir did, as Jesus did, as all the great sages and saints did, as representatives of oneness, love, compassion on this planet. So the world is calling to those of us who are awake to this inner dimension, who can make the connection between the worlds, between that state of heavenly consciousness, oneness, and heaven on earth. So I'd like us to end this message today with recommitting ourselves to resolve to evolve, not only for the good of ourselves, but for the good of our planet, to be midwives to this new story of oneness. And so let us do a spiritual practice right now from the Heart Math Institute. It's one that we can do at any point in time that will continue to bring us back to that state of oneness. And grounding, of course, means bringing it all the way through the body. That awareness of oneness all the way into the body, not just in the mind, but all the way into the body. And this particular practice, which is called heart-focused breathing coherence technique, the long name of it, breathing through the heart, is a very powerful, spiritually grounding technique. And of course, it's dealing with the heart, purifying the heart. So I invite you to close your eyes or open your eyes. Actually, you can do this open eyes or closed eyes. And I invite you to, in this moment, take a deep breath and focus your attention in the area of the heart and imagining breath flowing in and out of your heart. So as you breathe, just breathing in and out of the heart, as if the heart had a nose or a mouth and could breathe. Notice that your breathing is getting a little slower and a little deeper as you focus on it. And find an easy rhythm that's comfortable for you. Think of someone that can benefit from your caring and your compassion. And breathe compassion. Feel compassion for them in your heart. Radiate the feeling, filling your mental atmosphere and personal space. Be open to the heart's intelligence. Be open to the expansive nature of the universe, of which you are very much unified with. And in that place of expansive receptivity, I speak this word of truth. We're praying now. Let's pray together. Through this unity, this state of oneness with the one infinite universal mind of God, this beautiful awareness of our divine union, our inseparable union with the whole, I affirm and declare that the fullness, the omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience of the one life is right here where I am, right here where each of us is. Each of us beautiful, clear, purified representatives of the one cosmic heart of love and compassion. Knowing that each one of us, and individually and all of us collectively, are in this here now moment making a profound and powerful difference in human consciousness as we together fully embrace and realize who we are in truth. The great one, the divine I am, here as the very presence of love, knowing that love fills our thought world, our emotional world, and our physical activity. Knowing that, yes, even those emotions like anger are used by this love energy as motivating power and extra energy to accomplish the things that we are here to accomplish, to bring forth those qualities of heaven on earth, which includes social justice and racial justice, equality, a world that works truly for all, heaven on earth. I'm knowing even in this now moment, we are each inspired, knowing at a very deep level what is ours to do to participate in the birthing, the midwiving of this new story, which is truth, the truth of oneness. Knowing that this is now, this idea of oneness, this truth of oneness is now growing exponentially in human consciousness and is showing up all over the place, realizing that as the old structures of separation break down, that we are giving birth more fully. There's a breakthrough happening even now as I speak into the new, this newness of oneness consciousness, which is our truth, has been our truth all along, and yet now more fully realized. So I give my thanks for our vital part in this midwifing process, the beautiful, pure hearts of our community and of all those who join us. And I release this word right here and right now into the universal mind of God. And I invite us all, therefore, to declare our agreement with this with a powerful yes. And so it is. Thank you. Namaste, my friends. And so now, Deb Chamberlain, take us to that next level.
Wow. I would love for you to keep breathing through your hearts, imagining that love includes the whole entire world, like a bubble of love around the globe of the earth. Beautiful song by Daniel Namad. One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. one power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? The power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, have different clothing, different colors, different names. But difference only dangerous when we forget in our hearts we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes and say, such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashim or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul and it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. It's what we are. One power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation, an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness, the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration, the sunshine on your face, the birthright of all nations, the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for the love that is most deep. It's one power, one power, one power. That's what we are. We are one power, one power, one power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Keep breathing through your heart. I would love to bring us back to our beautiful Virgie.
Thank you so much, Debs. That was absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. And good morning, family. Today kicks off 52 weekly practices for promoting nonviolence. I'm going to wait just a moment to see if our slide pops up. I got all involved in that song and lost track of where I was and what I was supposed to be doing. But today kicks off 52 weekly practices for promoting nonviolence, which I also think of as 52 weeks of practices for spiritual activists. These practices come from the Association for New Thought, and our intention is to learn to practice nonviolence one step at a time, one choice at a time, and one day at a time. Through our daily nonviolent choices and action, the noble and courageous spirit within each of us expresses itself as the skills, wisdom, and character of a nonviolent human being. This is how we each, in our own way, move the world in the direction of peace. So each week at this time, the Social Justice Initiative Ministry will share a practice for each of us to contemplate and to seriously consider integrating into the way we choose to express and support nonviolence and social justice every day. And with that, I'd like to go over what this week's first practice is. The first practice is prayer and peace. According to Gandhi, prayer from the heart can achieve what nothing else in the world can. We need to begin and end each day this week with a prayer for peace. Let peace begin, says with you, but let peace begin with me is what we're going to be saying to ourselves. So each day this week, make a choice to meet each experience with an intention for peace. And with that, I'd like to turn everything back over to Dwayne.
Thank you, Verzi. Thank you so much, Verzi. And I trust everyone will support nonviolence. Okay, now I'm going to ask each person to please place your hands over your heart. And as soon as the screen comes up, we'll say our offertory blessing. And here we go. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies this offering. The Spirit gives abundantly. I receive thankfully and give again generously. This is the bounty of God, and I send it forth with wisdom and joy. Divine love bountifully supplies and increases this offering. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving. For details on sending CSLDE your tithes and offerings by PayPal or check, see our website homepage or the newsletter that sent you this Zoom link. We appreciate your loving support. Want to make a difference? Contribute to the CSLDE Benevolence Fund to support members who are financially challenged during this time of COVID-19. So far, 7 individuals have been blessed by this fund. Mark your donation, Benevolent Fund, and to receive financial support, contact a Board of Trustees member. We will not have after-service prayer today due to the Spark Leadership meeting. Please note that you can also send your prayer requests by phone or email to Peggy Frymoyer, and the practitioners will pray for you for 1 week. And now, back to Deb.
Thank you, Dwayne. Well, let's all sing this song together, connecting through our hearts, through our voices, through our prayers, as we go out into the world this week. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. Oh, we're all in this together. Yeah, we're all in one heart life was begun, flowing love to everyone. There is no place outside this love. Life is one for all and all for one. We're all in this together. Yeah, we're all in this together. Oh, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. In the heart of generosity, we can fill every need. When I give to you, I give to me. What we give, we shall receive. We're all in this together. Together we stand. We're all in this together. Together we rise. We're all in this together. You see, with one heart, we're all in this together. With love in our eyes, every beat of the heart of man returns us to our source again. So together we grow, and together we stand and co-create our sacred blend. 'Cause we're all in this together, together in truth. We're all in this together, together in trust. We're all in this together, with one heart. We're all in this together, together in love. We're all in this together, together we stand. We're all in this together, together we rise. We're all in this together, with one heart. We're all in this together, with love in our eyes. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. Oh, we're all in this together, with one heart. We're all in this together, with love in our eyes. Thank you so much. I love you all. Have a beautiful, peaceful, loving week. And let's bring back our beautiful Reverend Kathleen.
Thank you, Deb. So I invite all of you to turn within in our closing prayer and repeat after me. Perfect God within me,
Perfect God within me.
perfect life within me, which is God.
Perfect life within me, which is God.
Come forth into expression through me
Come forth into expression through me
as that which I am.
as that which I am.
Lead me ever on the path of all-inclusive love
Lead me ever on the path of all-inclusive love.
and cause me to see
And cause me to see
the infinite good.
the infinite good.
Breathe. And let's let it be by saying, and so it
And
is.
so it is.
Amen. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. And I just wanted to let all of those who are going to be staying for the Spark Leadership Training at 12 noon that we will stay on this link. I kind of gave some false information earlier. This is actually the same link that the meeting will be on. So whether you go back and come out, whatever, we will be on this particular link. So see you all later. Much love to all. Take care.
All right, let's all say goodbye. And I'm going to go ahead and let everybody
Hi, everybody.
unmute.
Hello.
Good to see everybody.
Good to see you all.